Prince Harry's return to the United Kingdom was expected to be quiet, dignified, perhaps even redemptive. But what unfolded was anything but. Caught knocking on random doors in a quiet London neighborhood, allegedly in search of support for his legal battle to regain police protection, Harry found himself once again the center of public ridicule. The story made headlines across the UK, but it was on *GB News* where royal biographer Tom Bower delivered the most blistering commentary yet, launching into a live, scathing takedown that left little room for sympathy. Bower, never one to mince words, opened his segment with an unmistakable note of disbelief. "You would think," he said with pointed exasperation, "that a man of Prince Harry's standing, once a senior royal, a military veteran, and a global figure, would show some dignity. But here he is, wandering London like a lost child, knocking on strangers' doors like some wayward salesman peddling his grievances." The footage of Harry's impromptu door-to-door visits, captured on multiple residential doorbell cameras, has since gone viral. In the clips, the Duke of Sussex appears confused, visibly distressed, and frequently on the phone, seemingly seeking directions. What began as a harmless anecdote turned rapidly into a full-blown public relations disaster. Residents were not amused. Some filed formal complaints, alleging trespassing and privacy concerns. Legal action loomed. Bower seized on the symbolism of the incident with unrelenting force. "What we're witnessing," he declared, "is a collapse of a man who once stood for something greater than himself. Now, he is reduced to a pathetic caricature, knocking on doors, not for charity, not for service, but for security he forfeited the moment he fled the UK for a Netflix deal." The live segment quickly took a darker tone, as Bower pulled no punches regarding Harry's motivations and recent behavior. "Let's be honest," he continued. "Harry has weaponized his victimhood. Every lawsuit, every podcast, every memoir. It's about pointing the finger outward while avoiding any shred of personal accountability. And now we're expected to believe his concern purely about safety? It's not about security. It's about entitlement." Bower then addressed the public outrage that has surged since the incident. The British public, once fond of the young prince who walked solemnly behind his mother Princess Diana's coffin, has turned. "People are fed up," Bower said bluntly. "Fed up with the hypocrisy, the manipulation, and the endless victim narrative. He abandoned his duties, insulted the institution that raised him, and now he wants the perks back without lifting a finger for the responsibility they require." What added fuel to the fire, Bower noted, was a disturbing implication that Harry was using his children, Archie and Lilibet, as emotional leverage to sway public opinion. What parent, Bower asked pointedly, exploits the image of their children to justify a failed legal campaign? It's beneath even the most desperate celebrities, and Harry is no exception. Bower's roasting wasn't just a personal critique. It was a broader indictment of what he sees as Harry's failed post-royal identity. Since stepping back from official duties in 2020, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex have launched numerous projects, from explosive interviews and documentaries to multi-million-dollar publishing deals. Yet, according to Bower, few of these efforts have contributed meaningfully to the public good. "Where is the charitable work?" he demanded. "Where is the leadership?" He had every opportunity to redefine his role outside the monarchy, to be a figure of substance. Instead, we got lawsuits, tell-all books, and doorsteps full of baffled Brits. The legal and social fallout of Harry's door-knocking debacle is still unfolding. With potential fines, legal sanctions, and mounting public hostility, the situation has done irreparable damage to his already fragile public image. More than that, Bower suggests, it has likely widened the rift within the royal family. King Charles, already grappling with his own health issues and complex political pressures, is said to be deeply dismayed by his son's behavior. Prince William, according to insiders, has all but severed contact. The monarchy, Bower said, is about continuity, discretion, and duty. Harry represents the exact opposite of those values right now. And make no mistake, his behavior undermines not only his credibility but the very institution he once swore to uphold. In his final remarks, Bower laid bare the full extent of his scorn. Harry, he said gravely, is not a man without a home. He is a man without a compass. He has lost his sense of duty, of legacy, of who he once was. And until he stops blaming the world and starts reflecting inward, he will continue this spiral, not as a royal, not as a leader, but as a cautionary tale. Public response to the GB News segment was immediate and intense. Viewers flooded social media with support for Bauer's candid assessment. Hashtags like *#GingerNinjaMeltdown* and *##Knocking Duke* trended for hours. Polls conducted after the segment showed that over 80% of respondents agreed with Bauer's assessment of Harry as entitled and disconnected from reality. But the most significant takeaway from the broadcast may not be what was said, but what it confirmed. Prince Harry, once the rebellious but beloved younger son of Princess Diana, has become a divisive figure, alienated from his family, the British public, and perhaps, increasingly, from himself. As the door-knocking incident fades from headlines, the questions it raised linger in the national consciousness. Is there a path back for Harry? One paved not with lawsuits and Netflix specials, but with humility, action, and genuine service? Or has the prince, now more of a cautionary figure than a role model, crossed a line from which there is no return? Tom Bauer's furious roast may have seemed harsh to some, but to many, it echoed a sentiment long growing beneath the surface. The British public isn't just amused or annoyed, they are tired. Tired of the drama, tired of the spectacle, and tired of a prince who, instead of rising to meet the moment, keeps stumbling door to door, still looking for answers only he can provide.